What's up, YouTube? My name is Uncle Smokey, and this is Uncle Smokey Stock Trades. And before I start this video, I would like to say, I am not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. So please take what I say with a grain of salt, and do your own DD. Very sorry about the video, guys. Just realized that my microphone was kicked all the way off to the side as I was recording it. I tried to enhance the sound as best as I could while I was in editing real quick, but please just bear with me on this one. Turn your volume up a little bit so you can hear it a little bit better. There's a lot of great information in here for you. Also, again, I don't think I gave enough ado to Sterling. Again, dude, I hope you're kicking it well soon. We missed you today, and I hope you're back on your feet for tomorrow. Thumbs up to you, brother. Peace, guys. Enjoy the video. Today we're going to talk about ticker symbol MMAT, Meta Materials Inc. We're going to break down the TA. We're going to look at the options chain. We're going to go through both Ortex and Fintel. We're going to buzz through some news that happened today. Maybe we'll help explain some of the action and reaction of the stock. And the one thing I always want to remember, every action that happens in the market is an extreme overreaction. So always keep that in mind. And then, of course, at the end of the video, we're going to go to my prediction. Now, first and foremost, I do want to let everybody know that does not follow us on Twitter. Sterling pulled through his tooth surgery. He's fine. We all knew he would be, but of course we want to keep him in our thoughts. I don't know if he's put out a video as of yet. It is very late in the evening. In fact, it is 10:54 my time. You know, things happen, man. You know, kids in band, kids in school, you gotta cook dinner, you gotta go to work. I'm not gonna bore you with life, it's life. But here's the video for the evening, and I'm hoping that I can help enlighten you on what happened today. So, we opened up the day today at $6.22. We hit a high of $6.55, a low of $5.68, and we closed the day out at $5.72, down 7.9% on the day. And that was on about 25.87 million in volume, and that is all the way through the after hours included. Like I said, currently it's about 11 o'clock at night here. So we're going to try and buzz through this really quick. So first thing this morning, we saw a slight short attack right here, and it brought us all the way down to a mark I figured we would more than likely see, and that's right around that 605 mark. And then what we had here was a little bit of a double bottom. Also may have been known as what some of you may know as George W. Trace Trades likes to call it that. He's basically the king ape in my eyes. Basically has brought a lot of light to the ape movement and what it's all been about. So, of course, I'm coining his phrase. All credit goes to him. George W. right there. And it is exactly as he says it is. It is. It never lets you down, bringing it all the way up to the high of the day of $6.55. Now, of course, if you follow me on Twitter, I kept giving my briefings throughout the day as I could, and 655 is a resistance level for us. We tested it yesterday and got pushed off of it. We actually touched 653, but you know how I am, 655, that's my mark. So, yeah, we pushed off of that. This is selling pressure. Okay, anytime you hit a resistance level like this and it pushes down, I promise you this was a lot of sellers. Now, I'm not going to say there was no shorts in there. There was a lot of shorts, but there was selling, okay? Because it got brought so high up, people took profits. It got caught right at the VWAP. The VWAP is a very powerful level, guys. Always keep that in mind. The VWAP, it can help lift the stock back to where it needs to be. Traders look to that to judge where the stock's at and where it could possibly go. So when it tapped off the VWAP and remounted, there was a lot of day traders that picked back up into their position and then sold off again. Again, I'm not saying there wasn't any short positions in here. There was a lot of shorting that happened today, but there was also some selling. But it's not us. It's not the diamond hands. Speaking of which, diamond hands, my wife, she made this for me. Let's see if I can get a really good view on it. Look at that. She does the epoxy art. Really cool. This is my ape that I put on my thumbnails. Anywho, yeah, so all of us diamond hands, we're holding the hell out of this. But you got some day traders. They're going to come in and out of the stock. And it happens, guys. It's part of the stock market. So just always keep that in mind. Don't sweat that kind of stuff. But the interesting part was once we get past this part of the day. Now, we did make a dip below the VWAP and remounted. And usually, again, this is a very bullish signal. But it consolidated across this level, utilizing 635 as a resistance. And I've called this out before. 635 is going to be a strong level of support and resistance. Right now, it is resistance. And we traded along that for a while in a great consolidation level, but unfortunately we broke down. Now, if you look here at what time it is, you're roughly 12:30. This is after we got, I think, a little bit of news, some talk in the Fed, and this is where we're going to go with this. And this is basically going to be the news talk here. So let me pull this up on the good old internet, what I have found. Oh, and also, you'll notice semiconductors, all of it, basically everything tech related today was pretty red. And this is the full map, so if you just look across it, you'll see a lot of the tech stuff was pretty red. All right, so here's the Fed. Fed Chair Powell calls inflation frustrating and sees it running into the next year. And yes, we already knew it was going to be frustrating. We already knew it was going to run into the next year, and that is nothing new. The Fed scare, or the scare of the government shutting down, this happens every single year. Every year. So again, this is just news that we hear over and over again. It's repeated information that we need to take with a grain of salt. And unfortunately, like I said earlier, every action in the market is an overreaction. And that's what you had here today. This news that I seen today, in my opinion, wasn't that big of a deal. Yes, we're having bottleneck issues. Yes, there's supply chain issues. Yes, there's a semiconductor shortage. Are we going to come out of it? Absolutely. Does Meta have the technology to get us there? Absolutely. Did we just acquire a company? Absolutely. And that's the other thing I want to touch on. We acquired nanotech. We did not merge with nanotech. There was no vote to merge. So if anybody's watching me that is confused about that, if you go to your news on Webull or TD or whatever it may be, if you go to news, you'll find all of this stuff here and right here. Meta Materials climbs as merger vote is about to take place. Merger vote? What merger vote? Click on it. Brings it up. Merger vote. Yeah, I don't think we had one. Nanotech Security Corp. It was an acquisition, guys. And that's one of the things that everybody's looking at. They're looking at the fact that this acquisition vote was actually being called a merger vote by many people. It's not just us. It's not just Webull. This is across the board. A lot of companies called it a merger vote. In fact, I get on this morning show every single morning. I follow John at Beginner Traders. He is, or I'm sorry, at Beginner Trades. He is a swing trader. He trades the VWAP. Well, anyway, even he had said in his show the other day, he's like, or yesterday I should say, the merger went through. I'm like, dude, it's not a merger, it's an acquisition. And the more we don't say that, it wasn't even yesterday, I think it was this morning, the less we say merger, the less it'll be recognized as one, because it's not one. It's not a merger, it's an acquisition. So that's one of the things we got to keep in mind too, that the news out there is also going to help drive the price of the stock. So let me go back to my chart. So that's another one of the reasons why you've probably seen a little bit of a sell-off here and there. Now, also, again, keep this in mind. There was a lot of shorting today. A lot. I promise you that. There was a great short attack right in here. I promise you. It was not just selling pressure, but this was a level of resistance where profits would have been taken. So I don't want anybody to get confused by, thinking I'm saying there was no short attacks. Absolutely was. That was one of them right there. That was one of them right there. And you had a couple of short letter attacks in here as well. You had a couple right down in here, all because they were moving on bad news. Anytime the shorts can get their hands onto a stock, they're absolutely going to do it, especially when they're driving it down below key support and resistance levels, like they did right here today. They dropped it below 10. They dropped it below 6. They dropped it below 590. I mean, and they just kept hammering it down till we finally caught at my catcher's mitt level of $5.75. And yes, I know it drops a little bit below that, but remember, you've got to allow for the buys and sells to catch themselves and bring it back up. And it did. It absolutely did. It looks like my screen went a little bit blurry, and I'm sorry for that. So once the buys and sells were able to catch and come back up, it bounced off another key level of support at 585 and basically trended downwards until the tail end of the day. And then we bounced. We really bounced into the after hours. So yeah, we're not going to concentrate any further on that. Let's go out to the one-day chart and take a look-see. So as you can see, we're still in our uptrend. We're not in any danger today. We have lifted so much over the course of the first couple of days. In fact, we've been in a constant uptrend for the last, 5 days. 5 days uptrend. We had a slight red day here, no big deal. We considered it a consolidation day. All right, so we're going to push past that. And histogram, we're still in the green. MACD still over the signal. RSI is hooking down. It just bounced off the overbought line, but we just had a really big red day, so of course it is. Okay, I think we can close that. And there it is. All right, so Ortex. No, we're not at Ortex yet. Options chain. Today we had 21,285 calls. 4,213 puts, grand total of 25,500 contracts traded today. That is buys and sells. Ivy's currently sitting at 142%, and I'm just rough balling this here. Call it 85% calls, 15% puts, roughly. Forgive me, my math may be off. It's 11 o'clock. I'm not going to concentrate on any of this. I'm getting tired. Sorry, guys. The options chain today, yes, it's extremely bullish, but I don't think it was anything super important. We'll bring down the October 15th calls. Look, we even dropped out of the $6 in the money. We're no longer in the money. We're just at the money. And there was slight drops and slight gains. There was. But I'm going to be willing to bet that you're getting more of your action back in here and maybe even a little further back. Yep, you're going to start seeing some action back in here, because people are going to start buying those calls way out. I do that too. All right. All right, Ortex. So here we go. As you can see, there was a return today of shares. Now, always remember, and I've pointed this out many times, just because they returned the shares does not mean they were shorted shares, okay? In fact, you can see that right here, shares on loans, 54.4 million. This will update tomorrow, not right now. Compared to how many shares are actually reported as short, 24. Roughly half of those shares that are on loan are reported as short. Now, if you come over here to current estimated short interest, it shows a little bit of a different story, and of course it does, because this is current. This is only updated once every 2 weeks, and it's always given to us 2 weeks behind. This is an estimated daily tally across the vendors that they use, the brokerages they use. And remember, this is always just the data that's given to them. It's reported to them. They're not going to report the data that's no good, that's hanky, that's the stuff that they don't use, okay? So it looks like they returned about 6.22%, returned 5.64 million shares, borrowed another 2.26 million shares, grand total of 3.38 million shares returned. Our cost to borrow is currently sitting at roughly 11.69, according to Ortex, with a utilization rate of 93.27%. And this, again, will change tomorrow. If you want to see the updates, follow me on Twitter, follow me on StockTwits. I give my daily updates every day on there. And the good news about all that, it's all free. Free 99, guys. Give all that information away. I love to do it. All right, going to Fintel. Let's hit refresh. I don't think I need to because it's so late. Nothing's going to change. All right, so again, they show a little bit different of a story, but they do. They report throughout the day, intraday. So they're showing 1 day to cover, which, I mean, I do truly believe it's a little bit more than that. They don't account for all of the shorts, I don't think. Neither does Ortex. They're, I think, even less than what Ortex accounts for. Short squeeze score, we're currently at 83.10. Give me 1 second, guys. Get a little parched here. All right, there we go. Sorry about that. All right, so 83.10, 75 out of all of those stocks. And again, we're still in the top 100. That's freaking awesome. And I'm in no rush for any kind of squeeze anyhow. So currently it looks like we've got about 1 million short shares available. And that's one of the things I also want to talk to you about too, how this is acquired. So every single one of these are going to have their own, but they're all going to be relatively close in number. So as the stock becomes easier to borrow, so there's 1 million shares available, the short borrow fee rate is going to become lower, as well as when the days on loan become lower. So if you go back over here and look at Ortex, let's see if that has changed. I don't think that has updated. It has not, but well, a little bit. As the days on loan come down, and they have been coming down steadily, with slight pops up and down, but they are not at they're no longer at 28. Your short borrow fee rate will come down, as well as, again, when the days to cover comes down, that short borrow fee rate comes down. It's an algorithm. It's a mathematical thing. They take several factors and they put that into play. All right, we're still on this. So we already seen that short borrow fee rates there. All right, so oh good, all of this is in. So here's our FINRA total volume. FINRA being the dark pool that we get reported to FinTel. There is 14,369,000, blah, blah, blah. There it is. 50% short volume today. So 50% of this volume was short. Now remember, that's just in the dark pool. That does not include the NASDAQ. That does not include all of the different exchanges. Here's your CBOE, which this is your option stuff. This is your short volume, 2.5 million. Here's your PSX and BX short volume, 130,000. And again, there's still more short volume on top of that. That's not all of it, okay? And that does not include any naked shorting, which may have happened, but that's usually something that happens when the utilization is maxed out. You don't need to worry about too much naked shorting because they can gather up those shares really quick. They're not gonna go and lend out shares when they're very easy to borrow, all willy nilly. That's just silly, right? That's just silly. Yeah, they will, but they're not gonna tell you they will. That's silly. Stupid shorts. Anyway, so we're at 55% short volume ratio. Yeah, I mean, they're trying to bring it down. They did a really good job today. But what they did is they did it on fear. They did it on bad news. That's what they did. And it wasn't that bad of news. This kind of crap happens all the time. The government shuts down on a regular basis. At least they threaten to shut down on a regular basis. Yes, the debt ceiling thing is an issue. I don't know if it's going to cause a nuclear economic holocaust or whatever the wording was I saw on one of the headlines. That's absolutely absurd, I do believe, but that's my opinion. Yeah, let me see here. Next, short sale transactions. So, here we go. Institutional owners, no, we're not there. All right, here's all of the transactions that we had for the day. And I also did yesterday's. Sorry, guys, it's getting really late. I am super, super tired. But I am trying to bust through this as quick as we can. Let's go all the way up to yesterday's information first. I do believe Terry covered this, but I want to cover it anyway really quick. So, on the 27th, 473 transactions for 1,056,000 shares, $6,228,000 worth of shorting on the 27th. Now on the 28th, just a little bit more than that, but still absolutely amazing as far as volume and total goes. 551 transactions, 1,026,228 shares for $6,316 plus. That's a lot. That's a lot of numbers. Sorry, guys. I apologize for that. I'm sure you can read them though. Yeah, they're shorting the shit out of the stock, and again, they only were able to bring it down to 575. We took a bounce. We brought it back up, coming down 7.5 cents on overall on this week that we've already ran up like 21%, something like that. Not a big deal. It's got to retrace. In fact, let's do this. really quick, because we're almost there anyway. Let's do the retracement. Let's bring it up. 30 minutes. All right, so here we are. So here is our beginning and our end. Let's bring up the fib. Draw it from here to our highest point. Let's make it yellow so we can see it. Let's make it nice and bold. Bring it in some. Alright, so where are we at? First off, we're hovering right on top of our trend line. Right here. We're right on top of it. And we're currently bouncing off of our 61.8% retracement level. What do you know? That is a beautiful retracement. As long as we can maintain this bounce and we can continue it on through the pre-market into the next day, I see no reason to be worried. We had to retrace. We just ran up a lot. We had to do something there. The stock was hot. Now, if you look down here, you'll also see the RSI hooking up. You're going to see the MACD line way down here starting to come back to the signal line. The histogram is getting smaller red bars. You're going to start to see them turn green. This is the 30-minute time scale. So this isn't like it's a super long period of time, but it's not an extremely short period of time either. So this is a great level to gauge what the stock could be doing in the near future by looking at these simple technical indicators. Sometimes keeping it simple, stupid, is the way to go. Okay? Also, when in doubt, zoom out. Courtesy of Wrench Capital. All right, we covered that real quick. Back to this. Institutional ownership. We had some new buyers today, guys. I don't know who they are. I haven't looked into it. Sorry. You guys know what's going on. But feel free. You guys know how to do this stuff. Dimensional ETF Trust. You can hop on, see what they hold, and do all that good fun stuff. With that being said, I don't think there was anything else really that happened today. If you'd like, we can pull up the Meta Materials site. Let's go here. Meta. Anything in the news today? Nope. Nothing today. Cool. Well, I guess we're going to go back to the chart. And we're going to hit up my prediction. I got to take away the fib retracement, though, so I can see. Alright, so let's zoom back in. Let's bring this over here. 5-minute chart, I think, is a little bit better. Takes away a lot of the lines. Alright, so I think we're going to see a little bit of a bounce tomorrow, personally. After the heavy day that we had today on basically, like I said, an overreaction to some shitty news. You know, I think I foresee a good bounce. But, of course, I always am going to be giving you my bear prediction because so far that's been a winner for us. Why break a good trend? Except for today, that sucked. But we were on the right track. I mean, we were pushing hard. I thought we were going to go for 7 today. I was like, what? Sterling, where are you? Speaking of which, yeah, man. Alright. Sorry, I'm doing a quick read. Alright, so if we look right down here, we've got the histogram starting to go green. We've got the MACD hooking up over the signal line. This is on the 5-minute scale. We have got the RSI sitting beautifully right in the middle-ish and pushing forward in the upwards trajectory. I see us coming out pretty strong tomorrow, but let's go bear like I did say. We're going to start bear coming out at the $5.75-ish to $5.70 channel area right in here. Pushing down probably to $5.65 at the catch. Hopefully. If it doesn't catch at 565, 550-ish, this is going to be our line. 550, 551 is our line. It'll push off of that and come back up. Hopefully coming right back all the way up through 565, but probably won't. More than likely bouncing off it once or twice. Coming back towards the 575 channel. Consolidating, hopefully through lunch, consolidating in an upwards channel, getting some volume, pushing us back northerly, finishing back towards that 575 to 580 channel. That would be an absolute great end to a bearish day. I wouldn't also be surprised to see it just below 575 with the lack of volume in 575 to 565 area. If volume doesn't pour in for the end of the day, that's where it would be, I would suspect. All right, if we get great volume, of course, I'm going to say expect a small morning dip. It may not happen, but expect it. If it does, 565 be the catch and push. However, I think we're at our lowest point. 575 is a great push point for us. It's been a catch point a few times. Hopefully we bounce, run straight towards the 585 to 590 mark. Probably bounce there once, push straight to 6. 6 is going to be an extreme level of resistance. More than likely bounce off of that once, twice, possibly 610. Again, another level of resistance. It's proven itself a couple of times as support and resistance now. We get above 610. We're going to be shooting for 620. 635 is going to be your next level of resistance. Of course, every single time we break over these levels of resistance, we need to hold above them. I like for them to touch 2-3 times, twice on a 5-minute chart, just because you want to secure it as support. Once it's secured as support, taking that next leg is easy. You hit the next leg, you bounce off of that as resistance once, or even break through it straight away. Again, you want to tap it in at least once or twice, but 2 times will confirm it. It's become support, and you run. And again, that's on the 5-minute scale. If you're on the 1-minute scale, you want it to break over it, hold over it for at least a 5 to 10 minutes period, okay? Because now you're trading on a very micro scale, very small, which I do throughout the day. Now, tomorrow, if we bust through 635, we're going to be going straight from 635 to 640. It has shown as resistance a couple times, 640 to 642. And then you've got 655. 653 and 655 are its balance points. I'm going to be calling 655 just because I like the 5s, I like the 10s. That's how I trade. If we blast through that, holy cow, we're gone. I think 675 is going to be a great mark all the way up to 7. Again, beyond there, we're making it up. Why do that now? We'll do it as it goes. With that being said, again, I apologize. It's such a late night. Please watch me in the morning if you want to get caught up on everything. Also, like, subscribe, do what you got to do, comment for the algorithms, and share this with your friends and family. With that being said, peace. Hope to hear from you soon, Sterling.